The Republican Party was rocked by controversy after former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie unleashed a stinging critique of Donald Trump during a live television interview. In the most direct attack yet from a prominent GOP figure, Christie referred to the former president as a political circus act who has distracted the party from its core values and alienated moderate voters. The interview, which aired on a major cable news network, began as a discussion of the future of the Republican Party heading into the 2024 election. Christie, once a close ally of Trump and a key supporter during his 2016 campaign, did not hold back when asked about Trump's influence on the GOP. "Let's call it what it is," Christie said, leaning forward in his chair. "Donald Trump is not about serious policy or leadership. He's about creating a spectacle. He's turned the Republican Party into a political circus act. And frankly, it's embarrassing." The host, visibly surprised by the bluntness of Christie's remarks, pressed him for clarification. Christie doubled down, accusing Trump of prioritizing personal grievances and showmanship over substantive governance. "The American people deserve leaders who focus on solutions, not sideshows," Christie said. "And Donald Trump has proven time and again that he's more interested in the spotlight than in solving problems." The comment quickly set social media ablaze, with hashtag Christie calls out Trump and hashtag political circus trending on Twitter. Supporters of Christie praised his courage for speaking out, while Trump loyalists slammed him as a traitor and a rhino, Republican in name only. Trump himself wasted no time responding. In a series of posts on his social media platform, Trump lashed out at Christie, mocking him for his failed presidential bid in 2016 and calling him a bidder has been desperate for relevance. One post read, "Chris Christie couldn't even manage New Jersey. Now he thinks he can attack me? Sad." Christie, however, appeared unfazed. During the interview, he addressed Trump's expected backlash head-on, saying, "I know he'll call me names. It's what he does. But I'm not here to play his game. I'm here to tell the truth. Donald Trump is bad for the Republican Party, and he's bad for the country." The interview has drawn mixed reactions from within the GOP. Some party leaders privately expressed concern that Christie's comments could deepen divisions in an already fractured Republican Party. "This kind of public infighting only helps the Democrats," said one senior GOP official. "We need unity, not more drama." Others, however, have applauded Christie for taking a stand. "It's about time someone in the GOP spoke out against Trump's antics," said a moderate Republican lawmaker. "We can't keep ignoring the damage he's doing to our party and our country." Political analysts have described Christie's remarks as a significant moment in the evolving Republican primary landscape. "This isn't just a criticism, it's a challenge," said one commentator. Christie is positioning himself as the anti-Trump candidate, and this could resonate with voters who are tired of the chaos. Democrats have also weighed in, with some praising Christie's comments as a long-overdue acknowledgement of Trump's divisive impact on American politics. "Even Republicans are finally waking up to the disaster that is Donald Trump," tweeted one prominent Democrat. Trump supporters, however, have rallied behind the former president, dismissing Christie's remarks as a desperate attempt to stay relevant. At a Trump rally in Ohio, the crowd chanted, "We love Trump," as the former president referenced the controversy, saying, "They're coming after me because they know I'm the only one who can beat the swamp. Chris Christie is just another loser trying to take me down." The clash between Christie and Trump has reignited debates about the future of the Republican Party. While Trump remains the dominant figure in the GOP, Christie's comments reflect a growing frustration among some Republicans who believe the party needs to move beyond Trump to remain competitive in future elections. Christie's critique also touched on Trump's legal troubles, including investigations into his role in the January 6 Capitol riot and allegations of mishandling classified documents. "Leaders don't skirt accountability, they face it head-on," Christie said during the interview. "Donald Trump has spent his entire career dodging responsibility." The interview has sparked a wave of speculation about Christie's political ambitions. While he has not officially announced a 2024 presidential run, his sharp critique of Trump has fueled rumors that he is positioning himself as a contender. "This was a campaign speech disguised as an interview," said one political strategist. Christie is clearly laying the groundwork for a run. Trump allies have dismissed Christie's potential candidacy as a non-threat, pointing to his poor performance in the 2016 primaries and his unpopularity among Trump's base. "Chris Christie doesn't have a chance," said one Trump advisor. "This is just another attempt to grab headlines." However, some political observers believe Christie's direct approach could resonate with a segment of Republican voters who are looking for an alternative to Trump. "Christie is speaking to the voters who are tired of the drama and chaos," said one analyst. "If he can carve out that niche, He could surprise people. Late-night comedians have seized on the controversy, with one host joking, Chris Christie calling Trump a circus act is like a clown calling the ringmaster too dramatic. The feud has also drawn attention to the broader dynamics within the Republican Party, which remains deeply divided between Trump loyalists and those who believe the party needs to chart a new course. This is a defining moment for the GOP, said one commentator. The party has to decide whether it's the party of Trump or something else entirely. Christie, for his part, seems prepared for the fallout. I'm not afraid of Donald Trump or his insults, he said during the interview. The Republican Party is bigger than one man, and it's time we remembered that. As the controversy continues to dominate headlines, both Christie and Trump appear determined to stick to their narratives. Trump has ramped up his attacks on Christie, while Christie has doubled down on his criticism of Trump, suggesting that more Republicans need to speak out. For now, the GOP is left grappling with the implications of Christie's remarks and what they mean for the party's future. Whether Christie's critique will resonate with voters or further solidify Trump's hold on the GOP remains to be seen. Stay tuned, because in the high-stakes world of American politics, this showdown is far from over. As the 2024 election looms, the battle for the soul of the Republican Party is only just beginning. Chris Christie's pointed attack on Donald Trump during his live interview has not only escalated tensions within the Republican Party, but also set the stage for what could be one of the most contentious primary battles in modern GOP history. Christie's blunt characterization of Trump as a political circus act has struck a nerve, drawing sharp reactions from Republicans and Democrats alike. In the days following the interview, Trump's allies have worked overtime to discredit Christie, dismissing him as a failed politician whose opinions hold little weight. At a rally in Pennsylvania, Trump mocked Christie, saying, "He's auditioning for CNN, not the White House. Nobody takes him seriously, and they never will." Despite Trump's counterattacks, Christie has refused to back down. In subsequent media appearances, he has reiterated his criticism, framing Trump as a liability for the Republican Party. "The numbers don't lie," Christie said during a radio interview. "We've lost the House, the Senate, and the White House under Donald Trump's leadership. How much more losing can we afford?" Christie's remarks have resonated with a growing faction of Republicans who are increasingly vocal about their desire to move past Trump. These voters, many of whom were initially supportive of Trump's presidency, argue that his focus on grievances and personal vendettas has become a distraction. "We need a leader who can unite the party and the country," said one Republican voter in New Hampshire. "Trump had his chance. It's time for someone new." The divide within the GOP is becoming more apparent as prominent figures begin to weigh in on the feud. Former Maryland Governor Larry Hogan, a frequent Trump critic, praised Christie's comments, calling them a necessary wake-up call for the party. "Chris Christie is saying what many of us have been thinking," Hogan said. "We can't keep hitching our wagon to someone who puts himself above the country." On the other side, Trump loyalists have rallied to the former president's defense. Representative Matt Gaetz dismissed Christie's critique as the desperate ramblings of a washed-up politician, while Senator Josh Hawley accused Christie of playing into the Democrats' hands. "We need to focus on defeating Joe Biden, not tearing each other apart," Hawley said. The feud has also sparked debates among Republican strategists about the best path forward for the party. Some argue that Trump's ability to energize the GOP base remains unparalleled, making him the clear choice for 2024. Others contend that Trump's polarizing nature and ongoing legal troubles make him a risky bet. "This isn't just about 2024, it's about the long-term future of the party," said one strategist. "We can't afford to alienate moderate voters." Christie's attack has also highlighted the unique challenges facing potential 2024 GOP contenders. While figures like Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and former Vice President Mike Pence have largely avoided directly criticizing Trump, Christie's no-holds-barred approach has set him apart. "He's testing the waters to see if there's an appetite for a more confrontational approach to Trump," said one political analyst. "If it works, it could change the dynamics of the race." Meanwhile, Democrats are watching the feud with a mix of amusement and caution. While some see the infighting as an advantage heading into 2024, others warn that it could ultimately strengthen the Republican nominee by forcing them to sharpen their message. The GOP may be divided now, but don't underestimate their ability to rally around a candidate when the time comes, said one Democratic strategist. The media frenzy surrounding Christie's comments has also put a spotlight on his potential candidacy. While Christie has not officially announced a 2024 run, his recent remarks and increased media appearances suggest he is seriously considering it. "This feels like the opening salvo of a campaign," said one journalist. Christie is positioning himself as the anti-Trump candidate. Trump, however, appears unfazed by the prospect of a Christie challenge. In a recent interview, he dismissed Christie's chances, saying, "He's polling at 0. Why would anyone listen to him?" Despite Trump's confidence, some Republicans believe Christie's critique could resonate with voters who are looking for a more serious and policy-focused leader. Chris Christie is tapping into a frustration that's been building for years, said one GOP donor. A lot of us are tired of the chaos and drama. The feud has also reignited debates about loyalty within the Republican Party. While Trump has built his brand on demanding loyalty from his allies, critics argue that his treatment of former supporters like Christie and Pence demonstrates a lack of reciprocity. Trump expects everyone to stand by him, but the moment you disagree with him, you're out, said one former Trump administration official. For Christie, the decision to take on Trump head-on is not without risks. By openly challenging the former president, he risks alienating Trump's loyal base, which remains a powerful force within the GOP. However, Christie's allies argue that the gamble is worth it. Chris knows this is a long shot, but he also knows that the Republican Party can't survive if it keeps going down this path, said one advisor. The feud has also drawn attention to Christie's own record, with Trump supporters pointing to controversies from his time as governor of New Jersey, including the infamous Bridgegate scandal. Christie has sought to downplay these criticisms, focusing instead on his reputation as a straight-talking leader who isn't afraid to make tough decisions. As the feud continues to dominate headlines, it has become a rallying point for both Trump supporters and detractors. For Trump loyalists, Christie's remarks are a reminder of the enduring strength of Trump's influence. For Christie's backers, the comments represent a bold attempt to steer the GOP in a new direction. The feud has even inspired grassroots movements on both sides. Pro-Trump groups have launched social media campaigns attacking Christie, while moderate Republicans have organized events to discuss the future of the party. This isn't just a feud, it's a battle for the soul of the GOP, said one activist. Despite the controversy, Christie remains undeterred. In a recent speech, he doubled down on his critique, calling Trump a distraction the party can no longer afford. If we want to win in 2024, we need to get serious about leadership, Christie said. And that starts with telling the truth, no matter how uncomfortable it might be. Trump, meanwhile, has continued to fire back, using his rallies and social media platform to attack Christie and anyone else who questions his leadership. "We're going to win big in 2024, Trump said at a recent event. "And we're not going to let the haters and losers get in our way." As the dust begins to settle, the Christie-Trump feud remains a defining moment in the lead-up to the 2024 election. Whether Christie's remarks will mark the beginning of a broader reckoning within the GOP or simply reinforce Trump's dominance remains to be seen. One thing is certain: the stakes couldn't be higher. With the 2024 election looming, the Republican Party is at a crossroads, and the outcome of this feud could shape its future for years to come. Stay tuned, because in the high-stakes world of American politics, this showdown is just getting started. The aftermath of Chris Christie's fiery comments about Donald Trump being a political circus act continues to send shockwaves through the Republican Party. What started as a single interview has now evolved into a full-blown political firestorm, with figures from all corners of the GOP weighing in on the feud. For Christie, the backlash from Trump loyalists was expected, but he appears undeterred. "I've faced tougher fights than this," he said during a town hall event in New Hampshire. "The truth is, someone needs to stand up and say what many in the Republican Party are thinking but are too afraid to say." Trump, however, has shown no signs of letting the criticism slide. At a rally in Iowa, he devoted nearly 10 minutes of his speech to attacking Christie, ridiculing his physical appearance, calling him a failed governor, and mocking his 2016 presidential campaign. "Chris Christie couldn't even win New Jersey," Trump quipped. "Now he thinks he can tell us how to win the White House? Please." The personal nature of Trump's attacks has drawn criticism from some Republicans, who worry that such rhetoric further alienates key voter demographics. "This kind of behavior doesn't help the party," said one Republican senator. "It makes us look petty and unserious at a time when we need to be focusing on real issues." Despite the criticisms, Trump's base has rallied around him, echoing his claims that Christie is irrelevant and out of touch. At a pro-Trump gathering in Texas, attendees wore T-shirts with slogans like "Trump 2024, No Circus, Just Victory, and Chris Who. Meanwhile, Christie has doubled down on his message, positioning himself as the only Republican willing to confront Trump directly. "Leadership is about honesty," Christie said in a recent interview. "If we keep pretending that Donald Trump is the future of our party, We're going to lose again in 2024, and we'll have no one to blame but ourselves. Christie's remarks have sparked conversations about the direction of the Republican Party. While Trump remains the dominant figure, there is a growing segment of Republicans who are frustrated with his leadership style and the controversies that have surrounded him. Christie's comments have given voice to these frustrations, creating a potential opening for other candidates to challenge Trump. Political analysts are divided on whether Christie's strategy will pay off. Some believe his direct approach could resonate with voters who are looking for a leader willing to speak truth to power. Others argue that openly criticizing Trump is a losing strategy in a party where loyalty to the former president is seen as a prerequisite for success. The feud has also drawn attention to Christie's potential 2024 ambitions. While he has not officially declared his candidacy, his increased media appearances and pointed critiques of Trump suggest that he is laying the groundwork for a presidential run. "This is clearly a trial balloon," said one political strategist. Christie is testing whether there's an appetite for a post-Trump GOP. Trump's allies have dismissed Christie's potential candidacy as a non-starter, pointing to his low polling numbers and lack of grassroots support. "Chris Christie is irrelevant," said one Trump advisor. "This is just a publicity stunt to stay in the headlines." Despite the skepticism, some moderate Republicans see Christie as a viable alternative to Trump. "He's saying what a lot of us have been thinking," said one GOP donor. "If he can build momentum, he could be a serious contender." The feud has also reignited debates about Trump's influence over the Republican Party. While his base remains fiercely loyal, there are signs that his grip on the GOP is beginning to wane. Recent polls show that while Trump is still the frontrunner for the 2024 nomination, his support among Republican voters has dipped slightly, with more voters expressing interest in alternative candidates like Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley. Christie's critique has also drawn attention to Trump's legal troubles, including ongoing investigations into his role in the January 6 Capitol riot and allegations of financial improprieties. "We can't ignore these issues," Christie said during a speech in New Hampshire. "Leaders don't run from accountability, they face it head-on." The comments have sparked renewed scrutiny of Trump's legal challenges, with some Republicans privately expressing concerns about how these issues could impact his ability to campaign effectively in 2024. "It's a distraction we don't need," said one GOP strategist. Democrats, meanwhile, have seized on the feud as evidence of division within the Republican Party. "The GOP is imploding under the weight of Trump's chaos," tweeted one prominent Democrat. "Chris Christie is just the first crack in a fractured party." Despite the infighting, Trump remains a fundraising powerhouse, with his campaign reporting record-breaking donations in the weeks following Christie's remarks. "The more they attack me, the stronger we get," Trump said at a rally. "They're trying to stop us, but they can't." Christie, however, has struggled to match Trump's fundraising numbers, relying on a smaller network of moderate donors who share his vision for a post-Trump GOP. "It's an uphill battle," admitted one Christie advisor. "But we believe there's a silent majority within the party that's ready for change." The feud has also highlighted generational divides within the Republican Party. While older conservatives tend to favor Trump, younger Republicans are increasingly open to alternatives like Christie, DeSantis, and Haley. "We need leaders who can take us into the future," said one college Republican. "Trump had his moment, but it's time to move on." Christie's comments have also resonated with independent voters, many of whom have grown weary of Trump's influence over the GOP. "I'm not a Republican, but I respect Christie for speaking out," said one independent voter in Pennsylvania. "It's refreshing to see someone willing to challenge Trump." The media has continued to amplify the feud, with cable news networks airing segments analyzing Christie's strategy and its potential impact on the 2024 race. One commentator described Christie's remarks as the most significant challenge to Trump's dominance since January 6. Late-night comedians have also kept the feud in the spotlight, with one host joking, "Chris Christie is calling Trump a circus act." Meanwhile, the rest of the GOP is like, "Can we just skip to intermission?" As the feud drags on, both Christie and Trump appear to be leaning into their respective strategies. Christie has continued to hammer Trump's leadership style and legal troubles, while Trump has ramped up his attacks on Christie, framing him as a bitter loser who is out of touch with the Republican base. For now, the Republican Party remains deeply divided, with no clear resolution in sight. Some party leaders are calling for unity, urging members to focus on defeating President Biden in 2024 rather than tearing each other apart. "We need to remember who the real opponent is," said one GOP senator. Stay tuned, because in the high-stakes world of American politics, this feud is just getting started. As Christie and Trump continue to clash, the future of the GOP and the country hangs in the balance.